today at the Eurogamer Expo 2013. Now we've got Cancho from EA Canada to come and present FIFA 14. He's a gameplay producer, and yeah, his favorite player is Neymar. So here he is.
Hey guys, thank you so much for being here. My name is Cancho Daskov, and I'm a gameplay producer on FIFA 14. I'm originally from Bulgaria. I actually grew up here in London, England, and this is where I first fell in love with football video games back on the Super Nintendo. That's when I played games like FIFA International Soccer, and I even played games like Nintendo World Cup on the NES. So I've been playing games my whole life, and I'm really passionate about it. And eventually I moved to Canada and studied in art school there and learned about animation, and that's what I did on the development team for the first 5 years of my time at EA. So after that, I actually moved on to work as a producer, which basically means designing the features that you see in the gameplay. And it's really cool to be back here because this is where I grew up, and this is where it all began for me. And it's just great to be here. So it's a big day today. FIFA 14 is out. It's something that we've worked really hard on for the last year. But not only that, it's 8 years in the making, really. When I started back in 2006 on the game, it was not the best football game. I think everybody knows that. But after 8 years of working on this current generation, this gameplay engine that we've innovated on and iterated on year after year, this for me is the best FIFA that the development team has created, and I'm really proud of it. So I hope you guys all have a chance to play it. And I also think the critics are noticing that, you know, this was just going to be a video showing that the critics have acknowledged that we have done quite a good job this year, and that the changes that you will see in FIFA 14 are not just a roster update or, you know, new kits, and it is massive gameplay changes, which you'll notice right away once you pick up the game and play for the first time. So here's a little bit about that. So there it is. Just a quick note also, FIFA 14 is out on mobile as well, and this is a brand new experience because we've completely redone the controls. It's now touch-based. There's no virtual gamepad anymore. It's just swipe to shoot, tap to pass. Very intuitive for the handheld devices, and it's free to play, which is really cool. So you guys can feel free to download that and check it out as well. So what is FIFA 14? What we wanted to do is create the emotion of scoring great goals, and the key parts of that we tried to implement in this year's game were the build-up play and making sure that we get into a game that's focusing on football, where you have to think more tactically and build up play through the midfield rather than focusing on just sprinting down the wings or lofting the ball over the top, which is something that a lot of gamers did in previous FIFAs. And it's not the way real football is played. It's more of a build-up game, and that's what we tried to bring into FIFA 14 with several features, including sprint dribble turns, where now you can dribble in any direction while sprinting. So it's not just 22.5 degrees, 22.5 degrees when you're sprinting. You can actually dribble 360 degrees. It's something you'll notice right away if you just try sprinting with your player and turning in any direction. And the thing that you'll feel is the momentum of the player. So when he turns, he's not just able to turn on a dime, he's able to take a few steps, and you see that momentum as he changes direction. Variable dribble touches is another key feature where now you actually see the personality of the players, so that not everyone can sprint and keep the ball really close like in previous FIFAs. Only the best players can really do that, like Ronaldo or Messi. And now if you have a really fast player, it doesn't mean that he's going to be able to be as effective, because he won't be able to keep as close control over the ball as in previous years. So it's really noticeable. If you take a fast player and who has low dribbling attributes and you sprint down the wing, you're going to notice that the ball gets away. It's not perfect every touch. And it just makes the game feel more realistic. And it makes the stars stand out more. Teammate intelligence is a big feature for me, because it's all about improving the AI, how they mark up defensively, how they track the runs, how they pass the checks off. So if I'm marking one man and there's another opponent in a more dangerous position, I'm going to move on to him and ask my teammate to mark up. So it's just trying to improve the AI in a defensive way, but also offensively. We have made a lot more improvements on how the players run off the ball and open up for you and show themselves for passes. Protect the ball is another really cool feature, which is all about using the left trigger to shield the ball at any time. So you could be sprinting, you could be standing, you can be jogging, any speed. You can always use your hand or use your body to keep control of the ball, to slow down the pace of the game and get your teammates involved. It's something that you see stronger players doing, like Drogba, for example, who doesn't have the pace he used to have anymore, but he still has the strength that he always did. So if you have a team like that, if you have players who are stronger, you can definitely take advantage of protect the ball. Finishing, pure shot, it's all about how you shape up for a shot, how you open up your body, how you angle yourself for that perfect shot, how you adjust your feet to strike the ball perfectly. And real ball physics, again, this is getting more and more variety into the game with how the ball moves. So you get your dipping shots, your swerving shots, your low rising shots, your knuckleball shots that Ronaldo likes to do. All of these features are just bringing more and more realism into the game and making it, giving more variety in the ways that you can score and making every goal feel exhilarating. And also, it allows you to, like I said, to score lots of different types of goals so that you're not always seeing the same thing. And last of all, but I think this is the biggest one, step-based locomotion is a new technology that we've introduced into FIFA, and the feature is called precision movement, which you guys might have heard about, and it's all about your players moving on and off the ball and having more realistic behavior of how they plant, how they turn, how they pivot, how they accelerate and decelerate. So players won't be able to just turn on a dime like they could before, and it's something that the community really wanted. They gave us a lot of feedback on this, trying to get more believable movement in FIFA. So that's what precision movement is all about. And the game modes. We've got 13 different game modes, more than 15 new skill games. We got co-op seasons where you can play with your friend, match day in seasons and co-op seasons, new catalog items in eSports Football Club. You can gift items to your friends, career mode, the global transfer network, ultimate team chemistry styles, and a lot of new leagues and clubs and stadiums. I think we have over 600 clubs now, 33 different leagues, and quite a few new stadiums this year. So a lot of stuff in FIFA, even on the current generation. But moving on for the next generation of FIFA, of football and for FIFA, I think that's why you guys are all here, to see what's actually on the PS4 and the Xbox One. Well, what's on it is everything that I've just mentioned, plus more. So let's get into that. what is the vision for FIFA on the next generation of consoles. We wanted the game to feel alive. We wanted players to feel more intelligent and being able to make decisions faster and creating those wow moments all over the pitch where, you almost get lost in the moment where it feels like you're not even playing a game. You're just in there, and it feels like you're playing football. I know I've played football my whole life, and it's something that I'm truly passionate about. And I know when I play FIFA on the next gen, sometimes I do get sucked in, and there's definitely a difference between what we have on the current gen and the next gen, especially with the graphics and all the extra memory that we have on the next generation of consoles. It's a more immersive experience, and it's all fueled by our next gen engine called EA Sports Ignite. And the three big pillars for FIFA 14 on next gen are human intelligence, true player motion, and living worlds. So human intelligence is all about players being able to make faster reactions and be more aware of what's around them. Where to be able to process and make more decisions for the players. So now they have a better understanding of exactly what's going on. On the current generation, we had to do a lot of what we call heuristics, which is making educated guesses of what's going to happen next. And on the next gen, we can actually use physics, looking into to actually see where the players are going to be, but not only the players, but their actual limbs. So where is the player's right foot going to be in 4 frames? We know this information, so we can make better decisions about how to avoid collisions, how to anticipate different situations, and make the players seem like they're more alive and aware of what's going on. True player motion is all about harnessing all the extra memory that we get with the next-gen consoles. So we've got tons and tons of new animations that just make the game feel more football, because you see a lot of new kicks, dribbles, first touches, headers, all of these new animations that we could never have put into the current generation because there just isn't enough space on the current gen. And then finally, living worlds, which is all about the 3D player crowds and the sideline characters and making the stadiums feel alive. So that's really exciting. So human intelligence. I'm just going to show you guys a quick clip of this. We have a feature called Pro Instincts, which is human-like reactions and awareness and anticipation. So here you'll see the player. It's very subtle, but he doesn't do a huge jump. He just rides the challenge. Then he's able to use his body to keep possession of the ball. So the difference between this and current generation is exactly what I was talking about earlier, where we're using physics to look into the future and determine exactly where the opponent's going to be and where you're going to be. I'll just play this clip again. Oops. And it's very subtle, but you'll notice how the player doesn't do this huge jump to avoid the tackle. He just slightly raises his foot and gets away, and then he's able to use his body to protect it very precisely. So you don't see any clipping, you don't see any other artifacts where guys are going through each other, and everything is aligned very, very well. So it just feels like a proper game of football. Like I said, in the current generation, we have similar type of behavior, but it's not as accurate because we don't have the processing power to understand exactly what's going to happen next. And oftentimes you'll see issues like players jumping too far and then having to come back to the ball because we didn't know that it was a small tackle versus a larger one. And it's this detail in knowing exactly what's going to happen, which allows us to select the proper animation in the next generation of FIFA, which just makes everything flow a lot nicer and feel more football. So the next one was true player motion, which is which is looking at the biomechanics of players and how they move. And it's this precision movement feature that I was talking about earlier, where here in this clip you'll see how a simple action like running down the wing and turning is a lot more realistic in this year's game than it's ever been before. You can actually see the steps it takes for the player to decelerate and then turn and re-accelerate to get back to the ball. And of course, we've balanced it with both players, so when you're on the ball and when you're off the ball. And this just makes FIFA feel more like you're playing real football, because it's not like it was before, where you could just turn instantly and get away from your opponent. It's much more realistic now. The next big feature that I wanted to talk about is true player motion, which is about all the extra animations that we have in the game. And this is my favorite bit because, like I said, I was an animator on FIFA for 5 years, and this is what I love, adding animations into the game. And here's a small clip of some of the new animations.
Aga, well, that's the old one too. So quick, one after the other. Liverpool have got the goal.
Well, it was all about the delivery from that corner. It was spot on.
Let's have another peek at that goal.
So it's not just new animations. It's also being able to have more players doing more things. So in that situation there, you saw multiple players going up for the header. And it's something we've never had in FIFA before because, A, we didn't have enough processing power in our engine to have more than 2 players going up for a header at one time. And B, we just didn't have enough animation variety so that when multiple players did go up, each one was doing a unique type of motion, so that you don't see the same animation for for 2 players or 3 players. So it feels like everyone has a unique motion associated with them. And the cool thing for me is this happens in football all the time. So it's great to finally see it in FIFA. And moving on, living worlds. This is actually one of my favorite parts about the next generation of FIFA. We have full 3D crowds, sideline characters like the 4th official, we have all the stewards, the subs warming up, the managers. We have more sideline characters than we've ever had before. Tons and tons of media and press around the stadium. So this just brings everything to life. And I think the biggest thing, of course, is the 3D crowd, because everyone's wanted 3D crowds for a long time, and we finally got it in FIFA.
Great change of direction, brilliant balance.
Oh, completely dumbfounded the defender there.
Well, special, almost South American flair, we would call that, Alan.
He has got a lot of tricks in his locker, this boy.
So one thing I forgot to mention in this particular clip is that we also have what we call our new broadcast system, which is taking into account all the situations that are happening in the game and showing them off just like a real broadcast. So in that example, you saw Falcao doing a skill move and beating his opponent. And when the ball went out of play, the replay system understood that there was something interesting that happened. And just like a real broadcast, we did a replay of that moment. And the actual camera that we used was very authentic, because now we're using over 120 different cameras all over the stadium. And they're placed exactly as they are in real life. One of our designers who works on the presentation team, he actually went to an English and stood in the I'm not sure what they call it, but in the van where they do the the broadcast, and the directors sort of says, okay, go on this camera, go on this camera, go on this camera. So he actually had that experience in a professional environment, and we brought that knowledge over to FIFA. So now it's as if you're watching a real match in terms of broadcast. And the great thing is that we have logic that understands what's happening in the game. So if Falcao was having a great game and he scored a goal early on, later on in the match, we may do a replay of that goal, just like in real life, perhaps when he gets substituted. So we know what's happening in the game, and we show that off using the new broadcast system. So it just brings a higher level of quality overall to the presentation of FIFA, and it makes it feel like you're actually watching a match, even though you're playing it as well. And of course, the stadiums themselves they look beautiful. This is the Camp Nou. We have not only the full 3D crowds, but we have the exteriors of the stadiums. So Etihad Stadium, we've completely modeled it from the outside, and they just look beautiful. So it's awesome to see at the beginning of the game as the camera pans in and sees the outside of the stadium as fans are coming in and lining up to get inside, and then we go inside, and it's just something that we've never had in football video games before, and now that we finally have it, it just makes it more exciting, I think.
In at goal, here's the chance, super goal. To try and get in front, and now they've done it right on the half-time whistle.
Yeah, and having scored, they probably didn't want the whistle to come, but I think they deservedly got that goal.
And here is another angle on that goal.
So here you can see all the different camera angles that we have now, and I have to say, out of all the features that are in the next generation of FIFA, the new camera angles just add so much more authenticity. You can just see it. Like we've never seen camera angles this good in terms of replay, and there's a lot of subtleties that you may not pick up on. I'll just go through this one more time. So first of all, it's a great goal by Falcao, but then you'll notice what the broadcast system does. It comes in close. It shows off the celebration, and then it goes into the goalkeeper, just like in real life. And then it shows the crowd, the full 3D crowd, as they're happy. And we've never had a chance to do that before because the crowd never looked that good. And now you see the replays, the different angles, just like you would on a proper broadcast. And there's a lot of subtlety going on there. For example, the camera is not completely in sync with the ball. There's this sort of overlapping motion where it tries to follow the ball, but it can't perfectly, which is what human cameramen, that's how they work, because they're not robots, so they always try to follow the action, but they're never perfectly in line with the ball. So there's always a little bit of lag, and we tried to get that into the replay system so that it feels more natural. And then one of the last things I wanted to talk about is legends on Ultimate Team. So I'm a big fan of Ultimate Team, love creating my own teams, and now we have the chance to get legends. So we have 40 of the best players from recent history in the game, which you can use to build your team with. That includes players like Pele, amazing defenders like Maldini, and one of my favorites, Dennis Bergkamp. So this is that's exclusive to Xbox One and Xbox 360, but it's going to be so cool to be able to mix and match your Ultimate Team with legends of the past with the stars of today's game. I'm really excited about that one. There's a quick video that I'll show here. it is. And the great thing about it is that you can start building your ultimate team on the current generation of consoles and bring all of that across if you choose to get FIFA on the next gen. So you're not going to lose any time having to rebuild a team. Everything gets carried over. So you have your items, your players, your progress in divisions, in seasons, I should say, your trophies, your points, all your coins, all that gets transferred to your next generation version of FIFA. And that's not all. I mean, everything that you do on the current generation gets transferred onto your next generation. So you're not going to lose any time having to redo things. So your season's progress, your ultimate team, like I said, Virtual Pro, EA Sports Football Club, everything that you get on the current generation, you can upgrade it to the next generation. So I know I'll be doing that myself. I've already started in seasons. I've already got a lot of items in the catalog. So all of that is going to come across when I start playing FIFA on the next gen. So when is it actually coming out? Well, on Xbox One, it's coming out on November the 21st, and PS4, November the 29th. We've been working really, really hard over the past 2 years on creating this next generation experience, and I have to thank the teams over in Vancouver, where I'm based, and Bucharest, which is our partner studio, for putting their hearts and souls into building a game that has not only all of the features that we have on FIFA, but so much more that I think it's the best FIFA we've ever created. It's the most where you feel like you're on the pitch, and I can't wait for you guys to try it out. That's actually one of my favorite trailers that we've ever released, and all I can say about it is that I probably forgot a bunch of stuff about what we've added in FIFA 14 Next Gen. There's just way too much to go over. I mean, you saw in the video, there's even the smallest details, like the grass flying up when you actually kick the ball, when you lob it across the field. You'll notice the grass particles flying. You'll notice things like the hair moving. You'll notice the cloth moving. You'll notice, I mean, all of these things you expect on Next Gen, but I think we've done a really good job of in this first year, and it just gives us a platform to build upon for the future. It's something, like I said, we spent so much time trying to perfect, trying to get the 3D crowds to not only look like real fans, but to show emotion and to have all the animations that are necessary to show the different emotions during a match. So from your highest of highs to your lowest of lows, and there's so much depth in this game. There's over 1,000 new animations due to the extra memory that we have in the game, and I mean it's one of those things that when you play the game, you're going to start seeing things that you never saw in FIFA before. from the smallest things, like a pass animation, like a through ball, the way the player shapes up and it looks like he's trying to thread the needle, and all the new animations for me are really cool, because what we've done is made them context specific, which is trying to get the right animation for just the right moment, so that you're not seeing it in the wrong situation. And it sounds obvious, but it's actually one of the most challenging things to do developing a game like FIFA. Trying to get animations that are suitable for the situation. So for example, we've added a whole new set of what we call deflect shot animations, where if the ball's fizzed in on the ground across the goal, instead of the player winding up and doing a big kick, what he's going to do is actually just adjust his foot so he can redirect the ball and take the pace from the incoming pass and put it on goal. So it's a very subtle motion, but what it is, it feels right, because just like in real football, if a ball's coming in at pace, you really don't need to put any power onto it. You just need to redirect it. So it's great to have all of these new animations in FIFA, because they feel right when they happen, as opposed to in the current generation, where even though in that same situation we had animations that maybe scored a goal or not, but they didn't feel quite right because they weren't context specific. So you may score a goal, but sometimes you feel like it takes you out of the moment, because it's not what a real player would do. And that's one of the most important things that we try to do on FIFA is get every situation feeling like it's like the player is aware of what's going on, and getting the right technique in how he kicks the ball, how he passes the ball, how he protects the ball, how he turns with the ball. So I'm really proud of how it turned out, and I can't wait for you guys to try and get your hands on it and see what you think of the next generation of FIFA, because it's really exciting. And that's all I got. So thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Kancho, for coming all the way to present that. And Freddie Lundberg is officially a legend, so not just an underpants model. I'm afraid we don't have any time for questions, but thank you very much for coming, and enjoy the rest of the show. Thanks again.
Thanks.